Did we just lose?
Rock and roll. Greetings. Now is the time and place for a meeting of the Beaverton Planning Commission. For the record, I will do a roll call to verify which commission members are participating this evening. And I see that Commissioner Adams, Commissioner Lawler, Commissioner Nye, and myself are here. Commissioner Ellis will be joining us shortly. And let the record show that Commissioner McCann is excused and absent from the meeting tonight as well. We are now at Commission Communications. Commissioners, any communication? Seeing none. Staff, how about you?
Good evening, Planning Commission. I'm Anna Slatinsky, the Planning Division Manager in the Community Development Department of the City of Beaverton. My only staff comments tonight are to recognize two wonderful outgoing planning commissioners who are in this meeting. We have a third member, Commissioner Glenn Winkle, who is not able to join us tonight, but I just want to take a very brief moment to recognize Commissioner Nye, who has served on the Planning Commission for a really long time. I don't exactly know how long. I know previously the Design Commission was your role, and I know that you have made such wonderful contributions to Planning Commission over the years that I've been here since 2016. Commissioner Lawler, I think you started soon before I joined the City of Beaverton, so we have kind of a similar tenure here. And really, for both of you, I think that you've been a really big part of what makes the Beaverton Planning Commission a really effective decision-making body. So, my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of city leadership, and I know that both of you will continue to be involved in civic life in Beaverton. So I will add my awkward goodbye remarks to you, but one more meeting under your belts, and then we will have continuation from some veteran commissioners and some new commissioners joining us in January as well.
Well, thank you very much. Nice. Your staff has been always wonderful to work with, and you guys really prepare us well and do a great job on staff reports. So it makes our job a lot easier when you have a really great relationship with staff.
Thank you. That's good to hear.
Nothing, Jennifer?
No,
All right.
Nope, I'm good.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. All right. The first item on, excuse me, the first item on the agenda is the application for LU 32024-00716. Herzog-Meyer VW Volvo Service Modification Case File DR 32024-00714. The applicant has the burden of proving that the applications are consistent with the Beaverton Development Code, the plan, and any applicable Beaverton Code provision. The criteria that must be addressed in the hearing are Development Code sections 40.03-1, Back Rev Committee, 40.20.15.3.c, Design Review 3, and 50.95.7, modification of a decision. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward these approved criteria or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or development code that the speaker believes to apply to the application. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to allow the Planning Commission and other interested parties an opportunity to respond to the issue may preclude an appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. Anyone who submits written comments or gives oral testimony has standing to appeal this decision. Failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to the proposed conditions of approval with sufficient specificity to allow the city to respond to the issue may preclude an action for damages in certain court. State and local law require commissioners to make certain disclosures. To these ends, the following question will be asked. Does any commissioner have a potential or actual conflict of interest? Ex parte contact or site visits to declare. Commissioner Adams,
No to both.
Commissioner Ellis. Oh, sorry, he's not here yet. Commissioner Lawler,
No to all three.
Commissioner Nye,
No to all of them for me as
and
well.
I do not have any conflicts of interest, ex parte contacts, or site visits either. Though I am very familiar, as I think Commissioner Nye and Lawler are, with the site. Does any member of this audience wish to question a commissioner about ex parte contacts or site visits, or challenge the right of any commissioner to participate in this hearing? Seeing none, let the record show no response. Order of the public hearing tonight will be as follows. City staff will give a presentation followed by commission questions of staff. Applicant will be given 20 minutes for its presentation followed by the commission's questions of the applicant. Then members of the public in support of the applications can speak for up to 5 minutes each. Then members of the public opposed to the application can speak for up to 5 minutes. Members of the public who are neither in support nor opposed will then have 5 minutes each to speak. After public testimony, the applicant will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. And the Planning Commission will then hear any final comments from staff. We will now begin with the staff presentation.
All right, thank you. Give me one moment to put the presentation on the screen. Okay, hopefully you can all see that. So good evening, Vice Chair Winter and Commissioners. I'm Lauren Russell, an Associate Planner with the Community Development Department. The proposal before you tonight is the Herzog-Meyer VW Volvo service modification. The actual case file number is DR3 2024-00714. Before we begin, I wanted to note that you should have received a supplemental memo from staff, and apologies, it was very recently sent. That memo does make several corrections to errors that were in the December 11th staff report, and it also provides some additional findings for modifying one of the 2022 conditions of approval. Hopefully you're able to see that, and I'll be able to answer any questions about that if you have them, because I know you haven't had too much time with it yet. All right, so the subject site, which is outlined in yellow on each of these maps, is located at 4180 Southwest 141st Avenue. It is approximately 4.52 acres in size. The Volvo and Volkswagen car dealership site is located to the north of Southwest Tualatin Valley Highway, to the west of Southwest 139th Way, south of Southwest Whitney Way, and east of Southwest 141st Avenue. The subject site is zoned GC General Commercial, and it is surrounded by the GC zone to the south, east, and west. To the north is a station community high-density residential zone. Properties to the south, east, and west of the site also contain automotive sales and major automotive service uses. And then the property to the north contains a manufactured and mobile homes park use. To summarize this project, this is a modification of an approved Design Review 3 decision that was DR 2022-0083, which itself was a modification of a Design Review 3 decision from 2020. For this proposal, the applicant is requesting that we modify the 2022 decision, and it includes site and building changes such as reducing the building footprint of the new automotive service building, retaining and renovating the existing automotive service building, and reconfiguring a portion of the surface vehicle circulation and parking area on the site. In addition, the request includes removing 4 conditions of approval related to bicycle parking and landscaping, and modifying one condition of approval related to landscaping for a total of 5 conditions of approval from that 2022 decision. So this is a site plan of that 2022 decision. You can see that there's a pretty large service building and a breezeway that's proposed in what is the northeast corner of the site, but is in the bottom right of the site plan as it is oriented on the screen. And then compare that to what is proposed now, which is a smaller service building. It is retaining all of the existing service building rather than demolishing a portion of it. And you'll see that there's no breezeway that's proposed to connect the two. One of the other changes is that the existing driveway on Southwest Whitney Way is no longer being proposed to be closed. It is proposed to remain as it is. The 2022 decision included a lot of parking area to the west of the new service building being modified. And now the new parking area, as noted on this slide, is a really small portion of the parking lot just to the south of the new service building. Just like in 2022, no changes are being proposed to the Volvo or Volkswagen sales buildings. Also, no changes are proposed to the frontage improvements that were approved originally in 2020, then amended by a 2021 appeal. And that was for design review, and also those frontage improvements were conditioned in 2020 sidewalk design modifications. So frontage improvements are proposed to remain the same. The only change is that the Whitney Way driveway is going to remain. Oops, sorry about that. This shows you the south and east elevations of the proposed service building. And then lastly, the conditions of approval. So the 4 conditions of approval that the applicant has requested be removed. 2 of them relate to bicycle parking spaces that required 9 short-term and 9 long-term bicycle parking spaces. Because the new design proposes to shrink the size of the automotive service use on site, that those 2 conditions are no longer needed. The applicant is showing the minimum number of bicycle parking spaces required on their site plans. For condition of approval A37, that was for some perimeter parking lot landscaping along Southwest Whitney Way, because there were new parking spaces proposed to be right along that frontage. Parking is no longer proposed to be there, so that condition is no longer required because the design standard for perimeter parking lot landscaping now is only applying to that small portion of the 139th way frontage instead. And then the last one that the applicant has requested be removed is for trees to be provided within the building foundation landscaping along Southwest 139th Way. In 2022, that was a required condition because the building at that time was proposed to be set back more than 3 feet from the property line, which has a design standard that says that a certain number of trees must be provided in the foundation landscaping. Now that the automotive service building is proposed to be at the property line and therefore closer than 3 feet, the design standard for the foundation landscaping no longer applies to the proposal. So for all 4 of these, staff has found that the proposal has changed so that they're no longer applicable. And then the one condition of approval for modification, the original condition of approval A36 was to submit a landscape plan that showed that the transformers would be screened by a solid evergreen hedge that grows at least 1 foot higher than the transformers. At the time, the applicant was proposing to use landscaping as one of the 3 potential options for providing screening. However, the applicant just submitted a supplemental narrative on December 16th, requesting that this condition be modified because the transformers that are shown on the plans are just the estimated locations, which is pretty typical for projects of this size. Those locations might change after land use is done because the electrical engineering for the project will be a deferred permit submittal item. So it might not be figured out until after the building permit is issued. Because the locations are subject to change, the applicant may want to propose screening that is accomplished through a solid screen wall constructed of exterior finished materials or a solid wood fence rather than using landscaping, depending on where the final location of the transformer is on the site. So staff has found that modifying this condition to provide more flexibility to the applicant would accomplish the purpose of the original condition better. And the language that staff is suggesting for the modified condition, instead of requiring landscaping in the condition language, it simply points to the design standard in section 60.0522C. So staff is recommending approval for Herzog Meyer VW Volvo service modification, subject to conditions of approval. This concludes staff's presentation. I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Russell, sorry. Are there any questions of staff with regard to the proposed application? Seeing none, okay, the applicant now have 20 minutes to make their presentation. Good evening, Commissioner Ellis.
Yeah, sorry about my tardiness. Apologies for that.
Is it
May
my
begin
turn?
by introducing yourself and stating your names and address for the record, please.
Okay, great. My name is Tim Brunner, Brunner. Address is 11104 Southeast Stark Street, Portland, Oregon 97216. And I'm the principal architect with Access Design Group. And I'd like to start off by thanking Chair Winter and the rest of the commission for having us back. We've been here a couple of times on this project, and I'll kind of go into a couple of reasons why or kind of how we got to where we are today. But the other thing that I would like to do and mention is a tremendous thank you to Lauren and other staff of the city of Beaverton that have been extremely gracious and extremely helpful as we've maneuvered through this. And I kind of feel like we're all on the same team and just want to see this one through. So we're back tonight, and the project has changed somewhat, as you heard from staff. And the reason why we're doing this is, you know, we have requirements to and desire to improve our facilities for the employees here in the for Herzog Meyer Group. And we've been through some interesting economic times over the last 4+ years here, though, from when we started. And it's been a real struggle, I will say. If y'all recall that we're involved, we did the Mazda dealership here a while back, and that project from beginning to end was interesting during that time as well because of costs and just supply chain issues and things like that. And so here we are now, finally, we feel like we've got a very feasible project that's going to satisfy the needs for the employees and for Tom and Chris, the owners of the facility. And so my presentation is not going to be 20 minutes long. Because staff has worked so diligently on this and along with us that we concur with staff. And we're looking at some modifications for some conditions, and that's really about it. And so I'm open to answer any questions that you might have, but we concur with staff's recommendations and approval.
Is that it?
That's all I've got. Yes,
Oh.
sir.
That might be one of the shortest applicant presentations we've ever seen.
It's so easy when staff does a great job, and we've kind of been down this path a couple of times here with you guys. So I'm trying to simplify that. So
Okay. Well, questions of the applicant by the commission. Commissioner Ellis.
Sorry, Tim, just a fast question. You said you're open, or you concur with the staff, and then your sentence was and with some conditions. Are you saying that you concur with the report, including the
their
staff's
report,
condition?
including their yeah, because what we're doing here is just I think you missed the introduction by staff. No big deal. But we're just modifying some conditions and removing a couple of conditions from a previous application tonight.
Cool.
And we just concur with those decisions, and we've been working with staff on that. And so we're good with how they have it written.
Awesome. Okay, I just didn't want to make sure there was like another one you were recommending.
Sorry, I was unclear.
No, you're all good. That's my fault. Thank you.
No worries.
Commissioners, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, let's move along. We're now at the public testimony portion of this agenda item. We will call for testimony in groups, starting with those in favor of the application, then those in opposition to the application, and those neither in favor nor in opposition. As a reminder, testimony is limited to the criteria that apply to the application. Now is the time for testimony in favor of the application. According to staff, there is no testimony present. So now is the time for public testimony in opposition to the application.
Chair, may I interrupt for just a quick moment?
Absolutely.
I realized that Commissioner Ellis came in after the disclosures of ex parte contacts and site visits. So if we could just get on the record, Commissioner Ellis, whether you have a potential or actual conflict of interest, ex parte contact, or a site visit to declare.
Of course. Yeah, no conflicts, visits, or anything to declare.
And then does any member of the audience wish to challenge Commissioner Ellis's disclosure? Okay, let the record show no response. Thank you.
And thank you for picking that up. I probably should have been paying more attention to that. Okay, now is the time for public testimony in opposition. No testimony in opposition either. So now is the time for those neither in favor nor opposed. Those as well. Yes, there we go. Okay. Since there's no testimony either in support or opposition, there's no need to have an applicant rebuttal. So questions, Commissioner, any final questions for the applicant? Seeing none, does staff have any final comments?
No final comments.
Thank you. With final comments completed, I will close the public hearing, and as is standard procedure, I will randomly poll commissioners to state their conclusions on the application. Being as I have two hiring commissioners, I will start with them alphabetically. Commissioner Lawler.
I think the modified design renders the conditions that they are asking to be modified. It makes a lot of sense. So I am in support of the application.
Thank you. Commissioner Nye.
I believe it meets the approval criteria, so I'm in support of the application.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams.
I too believe that it meets the approval criteria, and I'm in support of the application.
And last but not least, Commissioner Ellis.
Yeah, again, apologies for joining late. I did get a chance to review the report in depth earlier though. And yeah, the recommendations are clear and they look like the approval criteria are accurate.
Thank you. And I too concur with my fellow commissioners. This has been a long process, and I'm sure that Meyer would be glad to see it done. Is there a motion to continue or approval denied? Ready?
I'm happy to make a motion to approve. I move that we approve application LU 32024-00715, including all the conditions of approval mentioned therein as of right now.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, the vote will be taken by roll call. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Planning Commission's decision will be memorialized in land use orders that will be provided to all parties that participated with oral or written testimony. If you would like to appeal this decision, you must appeal in accordance with the applicable provisions of the Beaverton Development Code and the rules of the Land Use Board of Appeals. Commissioners, we are going to move right on to the new business part of the agenda.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Go ahead, Mr.
Just wanted to say thank you.
Our pleasure. I'm glad you were patient enough to work with us through this process. I'm sure you're glad it's done.
You guys are great. Thank you.
The second item on the agenda is the application for LU 32024-00921 Kaiser Auto Zone Change ZMA. Case file numbers LLD 12024-00919 and ZMA 32024-00918. The applicant has the burden of proving that the applications are consistent with the Beaverton Development Code, comprehensive plan, and any applicable Beaverton Code provision. Criteria that must be addressed in the hearing are the Development Code sections 40.47.15.1.c, legal lot determination, and 40.97.15.1.c, quasi-judicial zoning map amendment. Testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward these approved criteria, other criteria in the comprehensive plan or development code that the speaker believes to apply to the application. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statement or evidence sufficient to allow the Planning Commission and other interested parties an opportunity to respond to the issue may preclude an appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. Anyone who submits written comments or gives oral testimony has standing to appeal this decision. Failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to the proposed conditions of approval with sufficient specificity to allow the city to respond to the issue may preclude an action for damages in circuit court. State and local law require commissioners to make certain disclosures. To these ends, the following questions will be asked. Does any commissioner have a potential or actual conflict of interest, ex parte contacts, or site visits to declare? Commissioner Adams.
No on all counts.
Commissioner Ellis.
No on all counts as well.
Commissioner Lawler.
No ex parte contacts or conflicts. I'm familiar with the site, although I didn't take a specific site visit. I'm familiar with the site.
Commissioner Nye.
No, nothing to report.
Does any member of the audience wish to question a commissioner about ex parte, or excuse me, before we get to that point? I myself have no conflicts, no ex parte visits, or no ex parte and no site visits, so although I'm familiar with the site from previous applications. Does any member of the audience wish to question a commissioner about ex parte contacts or site visits or challenge the right of a commissioner to participate in this hearing? I saw the note that said there was none. To let the record show no response. The order of the public hearing tonight will be as follows. City staff will give a presentation followed by commissioners' questions of staff. The applicant will be given 20 minutes for its presentation, followed by the commissioner's questions of the applicant. And members of the public in support of the application will speak for up to 5 minutes each. And members of the public opposed to the application speak for up to 5 minutes each. Members of the public who are neither in support nor opposed will then have 5 minutes to speak. And after public testimony, the applicant will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. Planning Commission will then hear any final comments from staff, and we'll now begin with the staff presentation. Ron.
All right. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'm Aaron Harris, Senior Planner, City of Beaverton Community Development Department. And my presentation this evening is for LU3 2024-00921 Kaiser Auto Zone Change, ZMA. Land Use Applications LLD1 2024-00919 and ZMA 3 2024-00918. A single piece of testimony was received by staff this morning following publication of the staff report, and it was provided to the Planning Commission prior to tonight's hearing. This slide provides a project summary. The applicant requests approval of a zoning map amendment for a single parcel of land. The subject site's current zoning is community service, and the proposed zoning is general commercial. The proposal also includes a legal lot determination to determine the legal status of the lot. Here's a vicinity map illustrating the site and surrounding area. The subject site is located along the east side of 110th Avenue. Here's a zoning map of the subject site and the surrounding area. This slide provides the zoning matrix from the comprehensive plan. The site's comprehensive plan designation is regional commercial, and both the existing and the proposed zoning districts are implementing zoning districts of the regional commercial comprehensive plan designation. This slide is the applicant's boundary map exhibit. As discussed in the staff report, the unit of land conforms to the applicable lot area and dimensional standards for the GC zone. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve LLD1 2024-00919, subject to the condition of approval in the staff report dated December 11th, 2024, and also make a positive recommendation to the City Council to approve ZMA 3 2024-00918. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have. Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Do any commissioners have any questions? Staff. Commissioner Lawler.
I'm curious about when the site was zoned regional. I'm sorry, the comprehensive plan was changed to regional commercial. I mean, it seems like this was a single family residential lot. I don't remember that. I mean, so do you have any history on the comprehensive plan change?
So just to be clear, there is no proposed comprehensive plan change with tonight's application. Okay, you're okay. So
I'm looking for historical. Yeah,
I do not have historical information on when the site may have been changed, but the home that was there previously would have been that same comprehensive plan designation that there is today.
Okay, so some of the land in the regional commercial has general commercial zoning, and then others is community service zoning. And this is a
That's-
change. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. Okay, thank you.
That it? No other questions? All right, so now it's time for public testimony. Do we have any public testimony in opposition to the application?
Sorry,
Staff Member
excuse me.
Mercedes Sarah.
I'm not staff. I am the applicant's representative,
Oh,
and I have a short presentation.
sorry, skipped completely over that. Now's the time for the applicant.
Great.
I should know better than this. I've only been doing it.
All right. I have a short presentation, likely to be kind of a summary of what Mr. Harris already said, but I'll go ahead and share my screen and get into it.
I am sorry for that, overlooking that.
Not a problem at all. So my name is Mercedes Sarah. I'm a planner representing the applicant with 3J Consulting. The applicant on the Kaiser zone map amendment. Our address is 9600 Southwest Nimbus Avenue, Beaverton, Oregon, 97008. I want to thank you all for your time tonight and thank staff for their staff report. The proposed zone change, as mentioned, is from community service to general commercial. A concurrent application has been filed for a legal lot determination as well. The site is located on Southwest 110th Avenue, just north of Southwest Canyon Road, directly adjacent to the existing Dameron Ford car dealership. It is half an acre in size with a single family home and garage, which have been approved for demolition. The site is located adjacent to the existing commercial zoning, including both community service to the west, general commercial to the south, and residential zoning for the city is along the north border, and for the county is along the east property line. The proposed general commercial zone is consistent with the adjacent zoning directly to the south and consistent with the comprehensive plan designation for regional commercial, which includes both zones, as mentioned. The site is able to be served by both critical and essential facilities at the time that development occurs on the site. And we prepared a transportation impact analysis to analyze the impact of both zones and uses within both zones. It was found that each zone allows a drive-up window facility, which is the highest use that either zone would allow. There was no anticipated change to the impact, therefore, because each zone allows the same high impact use. And it was found that through the transportation planning rule study that the rezone would not degrade the performance of existing or planned facilities. As I mentioned, short presentation. We want to thank you for your time tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions. And yeah, thank you all. I'll stop sharing.
Well, commissioners, does anybody have any questions of again, another record-setting brief application. Thank you for respecting our time. Okay, now is the time for public testimony. None. Those in favor, neither in favor nor opposed. Okay.
Scott, there is somebody with their hand raised.
From host to me, yes. Speak, name, address, and then go ahead, please. John Yen.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you commissioners. So I did put in a email this morning to Mr. Aaron there, and was just writing about some concerns about the zoning changes, particularly that we've been a resident here for over 15 years, as well as some other family members within adjacent lots. And so some of our concerns is that the change from community service to general commercial does allow for some certain commercial buildings that may be some concern to us in terms of the loss of potential privacy, perception of safety, impacts to property value, some concerns about maybe health and environmental. And so we're just, wondering how that will be assessed. And I'm not sure if this is the right place for it or the right time, since this is not something that we deal with every day. So those are some of our concerns, and in the email kind of summarize it a little bit better than how I presented it. But just want folks to hear that concern from residents that's been here for over a decade, and just curious on how that is going to be addressed to address some of those concerns that we have. Over.
Thank you, Mr. Yan. If commissioners don't respond to this, so we'll move on, and the applicant will have the opportunity to address those questions. Are there any other comments out there, either neither in favor nor opposed? In favor or okay, thank you. Does staff have any final comments? I was expecting Mr. Harris. That's why I didn't recognize Miss Sarah.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Staff just wants to follow up on Commissioner Lawler's inquiry and note that the land use designation, the comprehensive plan designation, has been in place since at least 2002.
And as far as wanting to
the inquiry, yeah, certainly. So the memorandum that was provided to the Planning Commission this afternoon includes both the testimony that was submitted as well as staff's responses. I guess I can give a high level of some of the information that's in that memorandum. Staff notes that there are a few uses that would be permitted in the GC zone that are not currently allowed, including parking as a principal use, self-storage facilities, and storage yards. Staff notes in the memorandum that the potential use that would have the highest trip in rate would be a drive-up window facility, and that is permitted use in both the current and the proposed zoning district. The neighbor did express concerns about some auto service uses potentially being permitted with the zoning change. Those uses are allowed in both the current and the proposed as well. Staff also notes that tonight's hearing is only for the zone change. There is no development that is proposed with this application. And at the time of development, we will be looking at standards such as buffering that would be required with any development. So I think it is worth noting that in terms of privacy concerns and impacts to adjacent properties, the residential properties to the north and to the east, the subject site would be required to provide a B3 landscape buffer to both of those boundaries, and those are the buffering standards that provide the highest degree of visual screening per our code. That includes a 6-foot fence, trees, and shrubs as described in the code. See if there's anything additional I'd like to provide at this point. I think that sufficiently captures it, unless the commission has any additional questions. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? McIntyre, I saw that you popped up there and you must have had something on your mind.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to make sure that we give the applicant an opportunity for rebuttal.
So we want to thank our neighbor for providing comments. I did review the letter that was provided by the neighbor as well as staff's comments and generally agree with staff. The use intensity of general commercial and community service are fairly consistent between the two. The general commercial doesn't generate a use that's more intense than the community service zone that it already has. And as Mr. Harris stated, there are buffering and design requirements that would be required of us when we would move forward with development on the site that would help mitigate some of those concerns that he brought up in his testimony. Just want to make sure I touch on all of his concerns that he brought up in his letter. So I've got that open. As mentioned, automotive services are allowed in either zone with regards to the question of environmental concerns on the site. So that wouldn't be something that would be changed here with a rezone of the site. So with that, I think that's all of the concerns he brought up. I'd be happy to answer any questions as well.
Commissioners, any questions of the applicant? Any questions in general of staff? Staff, make any final comments? Final comments completed. I will close the public hearing.
Adam has his hand up. Commissioner Adams.
Oh, I'm sorry. I lost it in the books behind you. Commissioner Adams.
Chair Winters, thank you. My question is for Mr. and Mrs. Yen. It's like I was wondering how close to that newly or soon to be newly designated piece of property, how close they are to that, or maybe if staff knows how close they are, that'd be great. Know at least that, because I understand their concerns for the items that they mentioned.
If we could let staff answer, because the hearing has been closed, the public testimony portion has been closed, and the applicant has already done the rebuttal. So if we could let staff just answer the address of the commenters, where they live. Aaron, do you happen to have that?
I am looking for their address now.
Was it in the email?
I'm looking right now. Their address is 3610 Southwest 110th Avenue.
Do you know where that is in location in proximity to the site?
I don't know if it's immediately adjacent. The subject site, I believe, is 3640. Give me 1 second here.
Aaron, I have the map up if you would like me to share my screen.
Thank you, Jana. Please do.
Sorry, I muted myself.
It is immediately north.
Yeah, 3610 is located. Can you see my mouse hovering? It is located right here, and the subject site is directly below.
Okay.
Thank you.
Adams, does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does.
Anybody else have any thoughts they'd like to add to the record? Seeing none, with final comments completed, I will close the public hearing again. Standard procedure, I will randomly pull commissioners to state the conclusion. Duplicate the prior application and go alphabetically by my senior commissioner, Commissioner Lawler.
Well, I asked the question about the comprehensive plan because I was a little surprised that let me get the regional commercial designation would extend this far off of an arterial, which is Canyon Road. But since it was done decades ago, I guess that issue is somewhat put to rest. And I am generally concerned with commercial creep, but given the fact that this is one commercial zone going to another commercial zone where the array of uses is relatively similar, I will somewhat begrudgingly recommend that this move forward.
Right. Commissioner Nye?
I think the zones are so similar, since it's the same comprehensive planning zone, I think it meets the approval criteria.
Adams?
I have some of the same concerns as Commissioner Lawler, and given that it meets the approval criteria, I would move to approve also.
Commissioner Ellis?
Yeah, I believe I align there with Commissioner Adams, Commissioner Lawler, that it, within our scope of does it meet the letter in the law, I believe I'm aligned, and it does. I respect Mr. Yen's feedback, and I would hope that when we reach a development phase at some point that, you know, the eyeballs are pretty open and tight about reviewing whatever does come through. But short of all that, yeah, I can't disagree with the application.
Thank you. And I too agree with my fellow commissioners' concerns, and I'm heartened by the fact that this is just a zone change, not development application. So, is there a motion to continue, approve, or deny?
Move that I'll make two motions. So I'll start with, I move that we approve LLD 12024-00919 based on the facts and findings in the staff report, which I don't have the date for, based on the discussion this evening.
And are we, just a point of order, are we recommending action by the city council?
That's the second motion.
Oh, never mind. I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, nay. Didn't hear any nays, so the motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Nye, your final motion.
I move that we recommend approval to the city council for ZMA 32024-00918 based on the facts and findings in the staff report and the discussion this evening.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
We'll second that motion.
Thank you. Second is, excuse me, vote will be taken by roll call once again. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passed unanimously.
Okay. Okay.
And we have completed our applications for the night. Have minutes.
Have we, I'm sorry, I missed that. Did we move to elections?
If we could also just make the last statement about the ability to appeal the decision, that would be fabulous.
Search for the words, because not fun.
Chair Winter, I'm sorry. I think your audio is cutting in and out for us.
Okay. All right.
I can go ahead and say it too. Why don't I go ahead and say it? The Planning
That's it.
Commission's decision will be memorialized in land use orders that will be provided to all parties that provided oral and written testimony. If you would like to appeal this decision, you must appeal in accordance with the applicable provisions in the Beaverton Development Code and the rules of the Land Use Board of Appeals. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. Okay. Commission, we have minutes to review. October 9th and October 23rd. Any salient comments on October 9th's minutes?
May I make a motion?
May absolutely make a motion.
I move that we.
I think I wasn't going to have to beg.
Okay, no need to beg. I move that we approve the minutes for the October 9th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting as submitted.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Say nay. Passes. Second minutes, October 23rd. Any salient comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the minutes of October 23rd, 2024 as submitted.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I'll abstain.
And I abstains. Motion passes almost unanimously. Next up on the agenda is the election of officers. 5. I believe Commissioner Lawler has.
I do have a motion. I move to nominate Commissioner Adams as chair and Commissioner Winter continue in his role as vice chair for 2025.
Adams, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'm honored to represent the Planning Commission if they so desire. That'd be great.
And I am honored. So let's get right to it. All those in favor of Commissioner Adams assuming the chair position for 2025, raise their hand. Pop it up here. 4-1. 4. All those opposed, nay. Silence. All right. Like you're in, Commissioner Adams.
Thank you.
Not the nervous type. Going to give you your first. I can't do it officially, but I can't really recommend myself. I guess I can hold motion vote. All those in favor of Commissioner Winter being continuing as vice chair, raise your hand. Thank you. All those opposed, say nay. Okay. We have elected our officers for next year. Thank you. Staff, do you have any final comments other than to berate me for such a choppy meeting?
I would just like to say that I wish all of you happy holidays, happy New Year. For those of you who will not be joining us for the New Year in January, we'll miss you. And that, I think, is all I have to say, other than thank you for another great year on Planning Commission.
Just
Happy
see
holidays. Thanks, you
the
guys.
city
Yeah,
attorney
happy holidays.
box pop in there, no words.
Happy
Oh.
What
holidays.
Anna said.
Happy holidays, guys. See you next year.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Oh, and the
See you on the other side of the camera.
all right, we're done. 7:30.